Predictions about the 2023 housing market are all over the place right now. You've got Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com all saying something completely different. And everything on YouTube is either clickbait with flames in the thumbnails or realtors dropping the same old line about how it's never a bad time to buy a house.
This is fine.
In this video, I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all about what's coming to the San Antonio housing market in 2023. I'm talking about where we are right now and what you can do to take advantage of the opportunities coming to this market over the next year if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the San Antonio area, and we're getting into it right now. What's going on, family? This is Greg Foster here with Market Boss Real Estate Group, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'm dropping videos every week about the lifestyle, real estate, and major developments coming soon to the San Antonio area. So click the subscribe button and tap that little bell if you want to stay in the know. And my team and I, we're getting calls every day from folks just like you researching homes in neighborhoods in the Alamo City, and we really dig it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the San Antonio area, I'll be sure to leave our contact information in the description below. We'd love to have a conversation with you. So 2022 will go down as one of the craziest roller coaster rides in the history of real estate. But with all the talk about the market crashing, home prices collapsing, and it being so bad here in San Antonio, the real truth is that home prices coming into 2023 are still 5% higher than where they started in 2022. The latest numbers from the San Antonio Board of Realtors show that the average home prices last year started around $351,000 in January, rose to a high of $400,000 in June, and then slid down to around $372,000 by the time we got into November. So home prices did actually come down off their high last year, a little bit. But the real question that I'm sure you want answered is what's going to happen to the market as we make our way through 2023. Now, I promise I'm not going to make this some boring economics lesson, okay? But there's some serious economic factors at play in our housing market right now, and it's having a major impact in the direction of our home prices. So if you're planning on making a move in the near future, you're going to want to take a lot of this stuff into consideration. Let's start with supply and demand. The supply of homes for sale over the last year has nearly tripled from only 5 weeks to now more than 3.5 months worth of inventory, which might seem like a lot, but all that really means is that if nothing else hit the market in 3.5 months, everything that's currently for sale right now would be gone. Historically, a healthy, balanced real estate market usually has only about 6 months worth of inventory. So it's not exactly like we're falling off a cliff here. Even in the midst of the highest interest rate hikes in decades, all our inventories managed to do is rebound back to 2019 pre-pandemic levels. And there's a lot of things that are playing into that. Locals in the San Antonio market are really thinking twice about putting their homes up for sale right now because let's face it, most of y'all either bought or refinanced into some super low interest rates in the 2 to 3% range during the pandemic, and I know y'all ain't trying to give that up right now. Although I still can't get my head around how everybody done went from being willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars over list price to now having their nose turned up at 7% interest rates. Even though you can totally get a better deal on a home right now, keep some money in the bank, and just refinance when rates come back down. But I digress. And with so many people staying put and not selling their homes, we're relying heavily on builders right now to produce a lot of our inventory. And it's not exactly like they're just flooding the market with a bunch of homes out here either. These builders out here in San Antonio, they ain't stupid. They can still remember what happened back in 2008 and 2009 when the market actually did crash and they were stuck with an oversupply of inventory that nobody wanted to buy. And with all the supply chain issues, labor shortages, and pricing volatility for materials during the pandemic, the majority of the builders out there were forced to limit their sales reps on the number of homes they could sell monthly, limiting our supply even further. And even then, they still struggled to complete the homes that they did sell in a reasonable amount of time. And don't even get me started on what it was like building my own house this last year. Recent reports classify San Antonio as underproduced and needing somewhere around 65,000 more homes to have a truly healthy and balanced housing market. But even though it's not just like we're swimming in inventory around here, the good news is that there are a lot more available homes for sale. You do have more options to look at, and there's a lot of opportunities for home buyers to get a better deal in 2023, especially when it comes to new construction, which I'm gonna dive into in just a minute. But that's just a little bit about supply. When it comes to demand, that one's still kind of a mixed bag right now. Higher home prices and higher interest rates are really doing a number on affordability, pushing a lot of would-be home buyers to the sidelines. And I'm not expecting to see a whole lot of relief coming to the market for the rest of 2023 either. In fact, with home prices still up year over year, one of the first predictions that I can make about 2023 that's almost guaranteed to come true is higher property taxes. And that's for everybody too, not just the folks that bought homes last year, because as I'm sure you already know, Bexar County and the city of San Antonio ain't stepping over any tax money. And although inventory levels are rising, prices in the San Antonio area still ain't coming down that much. Recently, one of Zillow's senior economists, Orphe Duvunge, stated on a call with the San Antonio Business Journal that we're just not seeing the big price adjustment that a lot of people were hoping for. Okay, hold on a minute. We all know what kind of trouble Zillow done been in because they couldn't accurately predict the direction of home prices in the single greatest seller's market in history. But in case y'all don't remember what I had to say about the direction of where our housing market was headed this time last year, it went something like this. Yes, interest rates are on the rise, and yes, that's going to knock some folks out of the market, but even if half of the buyers that were shopping for homes decided to tap out, that right there would only get us to about 3 months worth of inventory, which is only halfway to getting us anywhere near prices even starting to think about leveling off. Y'all better get in where you fit in before these rising prices keep changing the game on what you can afford out here. Because I'm telling you right now that everybody out there waiting on this real estate market to crash and for prices to come tumbling down here in the state of Texas, they're going to end up looking real silly. Now, if you're from San Antonio and you can still remember what home prices and affordability looked like a couple years ago, then I can understand that you might be feeling a little bit salty right now and you're not really sure about buying a house. I mean, I see comments all the time about how home prices are still too high and they need to come down more, but we're still the most affordable big city in Texas. And for everyone else in the country out there dealing with higher home prices and higher interest rates and higher cost areas, San Antonio is still looking like a great deal right now. We gained more newcomers in 2020 and 2021 than any other city in the nation, and we've been named yet again as one of the top 10 metros to watch for 2023 by the National Association of Realtors. So you can bet money on our population continuing to grow this year, and you already know that everybody relocating to the San Antonio area, they gonna need someplace to live. With the number of home sales and the cost of homes forecasted to increase across Texas this year, and San Antonio expected to outpace other cities across the state, it's looking like we're in for a softer landing than the rest of the country in 2023 as our market continues to rebound, rebalance, and settle back to a normal range with appreciation rates expected to be somewhere in the 3 to 5% range. Now, I'm not the type of dude to be out here just talking about, hey, it's a good time to buy a house no matter what. Matter of fact, when my family and I relocated to San Antonio a little over 8.5 years ago, one of the first things that my wife and I did is we found a nice home in a safe neighborhood with great schools for our girls, and we signed a 3-year lease on that thing. It's what made sense for us at the time, with me starting over from scratch in real estate in a brand new city, not knowing anybody, and really not knowing where we're going to want to end up settling long term either. But if you are thinking about stepping into the market this year, if you're thinking about moving and relocating here or buying your first home, or maybe you're trying to decide whether or not it makes sense for you to sell your San Antonio home so that you can get into something else, just know that there's a lot of opportunity out there right now for you in this market if you decide to make the jump, especially with new construction. Now I'm gonna just go on the record here and say that I believe that the best real estate deals in San Antonio for 2023 will be new construction. Home buyers and individual sellers are on a bit of a stare down right now in the real estate market with the affordability issues that I mentioned earlier, and the home prices just really not budging that much. But when it comes to builders, they're in the business of putting homes in the ground. And a lot of them have these massive subdivisions still in development they're paying money for. They have crews they need to keep busy working, and not selling off their inventory simply isn't an option for them either. And so builders are really digging deep right now on incentives in an effort to address those affordability issues and entice buyers to come back to the table. Now I've got a whole nother video coming soon that's gonna break down just how crazy these incentives are getting in the San Antonio area, but the short version is that builder incentives typically fall into 3 categories. You've got credits towards closing costs and buying down your interest rate, there's money towards options at the design center, and then there's discounts on lot premiums to help you get a better deal on your home site. Now, the very last thing that builders ever want to do is bring down their base prices because they're not wanting to cause appraisal issues with home values throughout their community. But I've been really surprised and impressed with the kind of deals that our clients are getting right now, even in just the first few weeks of the year. A lot of builders right now are offering mortgage rate buy downs from the high 3s to the mid 5s, so you're not having to fool around with any of that 6 to 7% mess you're probably seeing online everywhere. And it's to the point now where a lot of sales reps are really willing to sit down with you, put their problem solver hat on, and figure out how they can structure their incentives to help you get your mortgage payment where you want it to be. Just a few weeks ago, I was out in Arcadia Ridge by Meritage Homes talking to one of the sales reps out there, and they straight up told me that they recently helped this one guy pay off his truck just to help get his debt to income ratios in line so he could qualify for the home that he wanted. I was like, seriously, y'all, these incentives getting crazy out here in these streets, and even though it might not be the best time for everyone to buy a home right now, there's still a lot of opportunity out here in the market for the folks that know how to look and where to look in 2023. Now, if you're considering a move in the near future, my team and I, we're getting calls every day from folks just like you, researching homes in neighborhoods in the Alamo City, and we really dig it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in the San Antonio area, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or click the link in the description to schedule a Zoom call with a member of my team. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back in San Antonio, Texas.